What's up, everybody? Yugi here with some more intense painting action. I lost my tea. I'm sad now. I guess I'll get started. She hasn't decided that she wants to get down yet, so I might just paint with her up here. That's why she's on top of his shoulders, because she wants a print, or because you're judging her with those pepper judges. But anyway, I'm super excited about this. Don't take my microphone off. There we go. So this color we're working on, still need a ton more green in this. I kind of want to just break a separate pile off, as we've used all our cerulean blue here. So I'm just going to grab some of this, separate it. I'm going to put out some more cerulean blue, and we'll keep desaturating this until it's about as lifeless as we can get it. And obviously when I say lifeless, I mean in terms of color and not necessarily paint integrity, which that's mud once it's become lifeless in terms of just any color fidelity you could ever imagine. That's mud. Neutrals still have that color fidelity, even though it may not be as obvious as something more saturated. So here I think we have a pure neutral. Any further and I think we're going to be going towards green. So that is what we want right there. So this might actually be too neutral. I know that's not what I said. I did say we wanted it to be as neutral as possible, but I just added a little bit more of that reddish color in there because I'm concerned if we don't. So let me get this going. Okay. So this, it's really just a subtle dark section here at the bottom. Oops. Definitely didn't want that. I actually don't have any more of this light color to clean that up, but that's okay. This is still going to work. So we're just going to get that dark in there first. And then essentially we're going to pull this up. So here, just kind of paying attention to where the middle of the petals are, and that's where the most obvious little dark sections are going to come up. All right, so I think the color works well. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to make these fade out a little bit. I'm also going to just, in general, lift as much of this color without completely getting rid of it. And now I'm going to work some white into the tips. So I'm just going to use pure white. Let me grab some white and bring it over here. Okay. And then just gonna work some of this into these tips. And kind of bring the white down and around the areas that don't have this dark line coming up. Now, I do want to be careful that this isn't too light and bright. I say that as I make the brightest and whitest areas, but I'm going to be lifting that off. I don't want a ton of contrast here because it will just be too eye-catching. We also have to be, we're already kind of worried about the saturation here, so we don't want contrast as well. It's kind of the opposite problem we had up here with this leaf and the blue flower, is that we wanted more contrast there. Now we want less. So here I'm both taking the excess off, but also kind of blending that white into that base color that we blocked in. Okay, so I took off a little bit too much of that darker color, that neutral. So I'm just going to go back in with that. And that is super, super dark, but there we are. Okay, so now we need a very, very dark, very neutral green for these yellow areas. This is essentially just going to be a subtle green and burnt umber, I think. We do want more blue than what we would normally put in a green. I think we want this to be a blue-green rather than a yellow-green, which has been very prevalent in this chair, a yellow-green. I think that's pretty good. Let's see if we can get some burnt umber here. Still not enough. I don't know if I'm going to get enough out of this. I might have to put more burnt umber out. I think that... I do think I need more. That might be pretty good. Just add a little bit of red to neutralize this. A little bit more. There we are. I think that's perfect. Okay, so this is for those yellow areas. So you can see a faint drawing of, I have way too much in my brush. You can see a faint drawing of some petals underneath, and that's what we're going to be working with there. Just gonna first outline these petals, and then we're going to pull it up, blend it with the yellow that's there. Actually, as it comes down, it comes up less and less to the point where it's really just an underline or an outline. Pepper just jumped on something and I don't know what it was. I just heard her jump. Maybe she jumped down from the chair, but I was super, super concerned. I thought she jumped onto my my computer, which has my camera on a desktop tripod on it. So it's not the most stable camera, like tripod setup ever, like pretty much all of my tripods. But if she gets on there, it would be very, very bad. But anyway, we got this. I'm now going to lift some of that off. Try and blend as much as possible. And now we just have one last dark section here. And this comes up pretty far, right here at the top, and then it gets thin again. And like up above, gonna blend a little bit. And then there's one final little wrinkle in this. Comes up from the bottom like that. All right. So in here, there's a little bit of this color in there. Now this was supposed to be the same yellow, but it was worked into some of that red, so it's more of like an orangish, but that's okay. This yellow here, there's not a whole lot going on. There's like a dark section here, but it's hard to tell if it's the blue or this color, so I'm just going to use this color. I'm just going to bring this out to about right there, basically thinning this yellow section down. I do want to make sure that I bring this color all the way down and there's not a little, don't want a little like line of intense color. And this is looking a little awkward here, so I'm gonna bring this out a little bit more to interact with the rest of that yellow. All right, we'll just blend that a little bit more. There's actually a little bit of semi-intense red in there as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to use that for this one tiny little section, which is right here. Okay. Actually, I need to outline this as well. Now, it's not quite the same as this color. It's actually much cooler. So I'm going to take this color we have here. I need to clean it with my palette knife. And I'm going to add a significant amount of ultramarine blue to it. It's not quite the intended result. So we're going to banish this forever. And we're actually going to start with this because we do want this kind of cool red. We're just going to desaturate this a little bit. We're going to add some yellow and some blue. Working essentially a green into this. And then let's get some burnt umber. A little bit more of each. I think that's what we want. Let's try it. Basically, we want it a little bit cooler than the outline of the flower on the left. Somewhat saturated, but not crazy. So let's see how it goes. I think this is perfect. So first I'm just going to outline, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to pay very close attention to where it gets thicker and thinner. And I'm going to beef up those sections that are a little bit thicker. Okay. So the thicker areas are right here, up here in general, right here, right here, and then it gets super thin as it goes down. So that's pretty good. And I'm just gonna, oops, lift a little bit. Okay, and now we really only need to worry about the blue section, or sections, I should say here. Raquel says, I think so, the trader is back. Who's that, Pepper? He thinks she jumped off the chair. I'm guessing that's what it was. There's no other damage anywhere, so I think I'm safe. So, I'm not sure. I'm gonna move this out of the way. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me see if I can. Yeah, you can see it. I'm concerned that it's too eye-catching for its placement. So I don't really have a choice but to just deal with it for right now. It'll also be very, very difficult to fix later. So I think I'm just going to lift a lot of this and make it more of a middle value. So here, I'll switch to the detail camera again and get this set up. There we are. So I'm just going to take as much of the white out of this, as much as of the darkest sections, as much as of the outline as I can, and make this much more subdued. Even here, this dark section here. Just want to reduce contrast. We want to reduce saturation. There we are. So, might be a little better. It's hard to say. So, don't have too many other options. Might kind of downplay these subtle shadows there. Okay. All right, I think we're okay. If not, I'll have to find a way to salvage that. But for now, we're all right. Let's work on this blue section. So the blue section, I think we can add just straight burnt umber to this to get the variety that we need. So I'm just going to see if I can find any good paint in there that isn't cured. I definitely don't need it super thick, so this might work just how it is. And we're going to, this is going to be tough to work around, but I'm going to work this into the right side of this. Man, this is tough to get at. Okay. So now at this point, I just need to blend. I'm going to get all of the paint out of my brush. And just blend the blue and the burnt umber. Okay. I'm going to try and take down the darkest areas with the back of my brush, and then lift the rest. Now, I'm just remembering now that I said we need a subtle shadow going along the bottom here. Pretty much everywhere except right here. It's kind of lit, but here it has a subtle shadow on the bottom. There's actually a very dark section right here in the corner. I'm going to use this burnt umber to do this. So it might be a little warm. I don't know, we might want something a little cooler. So now I'm thinking, let's not go forward with burnt umber and let's move to some ultramarine blue. We'll work this into the burnt umber. We'll cool it down a little bit. And hopefully get a more natural looking shadow. Okay. There we are. I think that's pretty all right. Okay. I think this section is done. I'm actually going to clean up one thing here that's kind of bothering me, which is this ellipse. Definitely needs to come down more. Oh, I also didn't add the, Jesus. I didn't add the burnt umber to this right blue petal. So we need to do that. first before moving on. And it's kind of the same idea. It's really just a dark section on the right side of this. Okay, now I'm going to wipe out the brush and just blend this into the blue with a clean brush. That's the important part of blending usually. If you want a very soft, subtle blend, you usually don't want any paint on the brush. All right, so there we are. This shadow may be a little overstated.